Well, so much for global warming. You know, the logic is when it gets warmer, it gets colder. That's global warming logic. But Buffalo, New York, not that they got buffaloes up there, but just to give you a little bit more of a memory jog there. But anyway, I remember back in the day that Buffalo, New York, actually even I think it was in 77, 78, they had some serious, lake effect snow due to all the cold weather that was moving down. That was one of the most severe winters on record. But people remembering all the way back decades can't even remember a storm as being as bad as this. And here we're still a month away from winter. It's amazing. You know, here it is November 17th or 18th when the storm started. I guess maybe the 17th. It's just ridiculous, you know, but a lot of it's coming off the lakes. It's coming off the lakes. You know, the lake effect has a hell of a lot to do with it, but you know, actually some parts of Buffalo might only have a couple inches of snow, and not that many miles away they got 4 feet. But this portends some things for the future, and it's actually what's been going on the last several years. It seems like there's a mini ice age coming. So much for the theory about global warming, and maybe that's not a total bad theory, but the problem is with that theory, there's other factors that are going on, such as the activity of the sun, which is far greater than anything that mankind could possibly do. But these are some of the things that are going on right now in Buffalo. I mean, they literally have 4 feet of snow in certain sections of Buffalo. Not right next to the water, actually, in the most populous areas of Buffalo, but just a little bit inland where the snow belt is typical. They usually get hit with the snow squalls. But this is still highly, highly, highly unusual, and people that have actually gone through, decades of winters haven't even seen something like this, or maybe this is about as bad as it gets, period. And it's not even a regular snowstorm, it's snow squalls, it's lake effect snow. But it's about as bad as it gets. Considering considering even throughout the entire winter, and here we are a month away from winter. So I got to say this, I totally disagree with this stupid theory about, I believe in limiting pollution from man and all that type of stuff, but as far as us going into global warming, that theory is totally flawed. As far as taking care of the earth and balancing things with nature, I'm not going to argue with that at all. In minimizing pollution, I'm not going to argue with that at all. But as far as global warming, I mean, this theory has been getting blown apart pretty much every year. If you look what goes on in Europe, maybe not the last year, but if you're looking within the last 5 years, even in New York City, Europe, like the UK, Germany and Paris, and like what happened in the airports over there, what's happening in Russia. It's just ridiculous. It's not just the northeast of the United States. It's all over the globe. They've been experiencing winters, or sometimes, not every year, but sometimes they're going back hundreds and hundreds of years, or even 500 years, where they had the worst winter and so on. But it's like it doesn't happen every single year. But then this year might be the cycle's coming back again. But the overall trend is looking like we're going to a mini ice age. And even in Buffalo, New York, they had such a severe. This is not even winter yet. I mean, we got over a month to go, right? A little over a month to go before we actually hit winter, in the beginning of winter. There's been such severe whiteout conditions on Route 90 that they couldn't even see where the hell they were going, and even snow plows were getting stuck. So, and this is I know you could say it's typical for up there, but this is not. This is totally atypical for what's going on right now due to severity and also so far early in the season. So what's going on is the globe is temporarily getting colder, and it's not really due to man-made emissions. It's due to cycles. I mean, we've seen these cycles have happened so many times throughout the centuries, and even we've had a mini ice age back in the 1800s that was fairly severe. And even if you go back to ancient Roman history, and you read about, the battles that took place in northern Italy in the winter, they're talking about snows that were waist deep, and historical accounts, and you can say that doesn't happen in northern Italy, even unless you're talking in the Alps or something like that. But you're just talking northern Italy, talking about 2,000 years ago. And the area of Germany and was more like what you would see in Scandinavia. It was even colder then. So, we have, actually what's been happening in the modern age in the last, I guess in the last, excluding maybe the last 5 to 10 years, but say in the last 100 years, excluding the last 5 to 10 years, we've actually had a warming period. And, the warming period actually coincided with the beginning of, using fossil fuels. But the thing is, in the beginning, there wasn't too many fossil fuels being used at the outset of the turn of the century to cause all this warming. But when you look at the great big fireball out there, well, whatever it is, it's not a fireball. I guess it's some kind of energy ball or whatever it is, the sun itself. The sun itself, the energy from the sun itself is actually telling us what's happening here on Earth more than anything done by man. And this is actually in Russia. This is in Russia last year. Russia has been experiencing extremely cold winters. Actually, this is what has been a problem with their crop production, too, partly why their crop production has been down, not only in Russia, but also in Europe, due to the extremely harsh winters and erratic climate. But part of this is not, let me put it this way, the majority of it is actually not due to mankind, it's actually due to nature and the sun itself, But, the one solution that we probably do have is well, actually, even without even getting into high-tech free energy or solar panels even or whatever, and even water heaters that can be, heat water by the sun. The technology, even with wood-burning stoves, the way they are today, where there's like several chambers that re-burn the gases, where they have like over 95% efficiency, that even makes burning wood extremely efficient and clean. So the technology has even gotten so much better, even with the simpler devices out there. And also the way we can insulate homes has gotten much better. But as far as global warming, I think that theory needs to be really shot down. There's a lot of people that sit back and will tell you that global warming is causing the cold spell, but it's like, that maybe could be, you could say, well, it's contriving a disruption of weather patterns, but it would not be causing a cold spell in Russia, Europe, and the United States, all over the place. In other words, it would basically be one little spot, and there'd be a lot of other spots that would be warmer. So, and if you look at the ice packs, sometimes they go down and sometimes they recover really fast. So it's it's ridiculous that, here, imagine trying to convince these people up in the suburbs of Buffalo, New York, that global warming is taking effect and you need to raise your taxes on hydrocarbon taxes or whatever, carbon-based emissions because of global warming. All right. Anyway, give me some of that global warming and melt this stuff, baby. You know what I mean? So, anyway, I don't know. If I was up there, I'd probably just build a big igloo and save myself some money on lumber. So, because the deep freeze seems to last a long time, all you need to have is a little bit of a deep freeze in the summertime to keep the igloo structurally sound, and you have a house that can withstand all kinds of snow. So, anyway, that's the right type to have, the A-frame. So, anyway, this is highly unusual. I just can't, I was reading a lot about this winter is going to be severe as all hell, and I believe it. I'm glad I'm down in Florida, but I think Florida's going to get some of this too. It does, yeah. Sometimes it actually gets down in the 20s over here, but it ain't nothing compared to up there, It ain't nothing. So, anyway, keep on trucking, man, and get your snow chains out, get your four-wheel drive going, get your antifreeze going, and all that type of stuff. And spray some Teflon on your snow shovel so that stuff don't stick. Because I remember shoveling that stuff by hand too, man, doing driveways that were like 60 feet long by 20 feet, and stuff being 3.5 feet down. I was up there, man, when it was coming down too. It's a lot of work, but I actually enjoyed it because I really like doing the exercise. So, but that's just me. That's not most people. So anyway, be safe when you're shoveling. Be safe.